Political diversion is an incredible tool. Sam Kephart is here to talk a little bit about that. Sam, political diversion can cover a host of scandals.
Yes, and when you think about what's going on in Washington, we have the unresolved Benghazi situation. We have the IRS.
It's resolved for 4 Americans, isn't it?
Yeah, well, they're permanently.
Yes.
The IRS attack on conservative groups' tax
501c3.
501c3
Yep.
nonprofit status. We have the government going after the Fox reporter.
And now a CBS reporter.
Now a CBS reporter. We have the State Department involved in a cover-up on the sexual misbehavior of one of their ambassadors. There's actually several things that are going. And frequently, a good war, a nice juicy new war, will kind of cover all those up, because the only time those investigations, Congress has a limited power to investigate unless they can set up a special prosecutor. But in this case, Eric Holder is up to his eyeballs with the problems anyhow, and he's not going to order a special prosecutor on himself or his boss or Hillary Clinton. It's just not going to happen.
You and I watched some of the testimony of the director of the FBI, who was questioned very well, by the way, by a congressman, and couldn't even say, because he didn't know, who was the lead investigator on one of the most important issues in America. Well, can you imagine if the conventional media has their choice between taking pictures of body bags of Americans related to a war, or dealing with that scandal, or any one of the others? Which one will they choose?
Well, they're going to do the war, of course.
Sure, because that covers a multitude of sins, doesn't it?
Right. And the thing, I spent 17 years in the high-end security business, and I can promise you, no responsible chief executive in a security business, which is what the FBI is, it's one of the largest security agencies in the world, on something that critical would not know. Now, if he really didn't know and he wasn't lying, then he told somebody, I don't want to know that, so if I get asked, I have plausible deniability. Yeah. So,
yeah, but he didn't know anything about anything.
Yeah, but then you have to ask people, then, dude, what are you doing there?
I know.
Next, move on. Next, Della business. Slice them and dice them. Next.
Yeah. It's amazing to me when I look at the responses of the Obama henchmen. They're all pretty much the same. They know nothing, they see nothing, they hear nothing, and they say nothing.
Well, people ask, and I've given this a lot of thought, and we have some Bible believers out there. Gordon, do you remember in Matthew where the Bible talks about...
Well, I wasn't there, but I heard about it.
You heard? Well, some would argue that, but anyhow, when Jesus is tempted, the last temptation, Satan says to Jesus, if you will but bow down or make an act of obeisance to me, I will give you all the kingdoms of the world. Well, now think about it. How can Satan give something or trade something that he doesn't already control? Which means the U.S. government, by extension and proxy, is included in what Satan controls. Because it didn't say, I'll give you everything you see except the United States of America. Or there's this place over that hasn't really been discovered yet that is exempt from this offer. Do you see what I'm saying? I really believe government in general, and the United States no exception at this point, even though it was godly men that founded it, is under satanic control. It's that simple.
Well,
and the fruitage would prove it to me.
You don't have to look too far to see wickedness in government, that's for sure. I think about the Old Testament story of David and Bathsheba, and he used war as a diversion and an extermination.
To get the woman he wanted.
So when you look at history, and you know history repeats itself, what would prevent this government from putting you on the front line in some way and putting you in harm's way so as to exterminate you?
Well, yeah, and they don't like people like us asking pesky questions. And see, it's not that I have any personal animosity. It's just like, we are on a ship that is taking on water. Be honest with us and come up with practical solutions. And if you can't be honest or transparent or come up with original ideas, then what the hell do we need you there for?
Well, the reason they can't come up with legitimate solutions is because their intentions are not pure.
Correct.
I believe we have a leader of the free world the President of the United States of America, whose mission it is to destroy the very country he leads.